Hello everyone. So I thought that I would try something a bit different and record myself going through the motions, the processing of creating a collage, and thought I would film it and then record this audio separately. The reason I had to do the audio separately was because my microphone stopped working. So throughout the video that you're seeing right now, I was talking, and you may notice because my hands will be waving in a certain way every now and then as if I'm talking, and it won't quite fit with the audio. So I'm sorry about that, but I didn't want to waste this. So hopefully the visuals will just be a background thing. But I thought that I would do the audio in the style of ASMR and try and make it as relaxing and calm as possible. And this is the first time that I've ever done anything like ASMR, but it's something that I think I started watching ASMR videos when I was in uni back in 2013 or 14, or earlier actually, I'm not too sure. And there weren't many videos out there at the time, but I was having trouble sleeping and was quite stressed because of all the work at uni, and I needed to find something to help me sleep. So I think it started with watching people paint, kind of like Bob Ross. That may have been where it started, in fact, watching Bob Ross on YouTube. And then that somehow got me down an ASMR rabbit hole, and I was introduced to the likes of Gentle Whispering, Serene Queen, or Queen of Serene, that's it. Queen of Serene is not active on YouTube anymore, I don't think. It's been years, actually. There's quite a few ASMR artists that I used to watch and listen to, who were wonderful, very, very good at what they did, but they are no longer active. But there's so many out there now, it's such a huge thing, and I mean, God, even Cardi B's doing it. And it used to embarrass me, actually. There was I remember a comment on someone's ASMR video on YouTube years ago that I read, and it really resonated with me. And it was basically saying, if my partner walks in and I'm watching ASMR, I don't know how I can explain that. So I switched to porn because it was so, I understood that because there was something that I just was so embarrassed about with ASMR that I didn't know how to explain it. You know, some of the videos are very, well, weird, let's face it. And to people that don't understand that, it must be very weird. But I assure you, it is really not. And ASMR, I think, has helped me with a lot of anxiety over the years, and it's pulled me out of some dark places. Well, it may not have pulled me out, but it's definitely eased any pain that I've felt over the years. Definitely. And I recommend it for anyone that enjoys anything that's relaxing, so soft voices, watching things like this, like creative art. It's mainly about sound, ASMR really, but you can, or I found, visually, you can get ASMR from visual things, very slow movements. Watching someone have a massage, that can be quite relaxing to watch. It's weird, I found that people that have, I don't know if it's empathy, but there's something to do with empathy, but there's more to it. And people that find they can almost feel like they're having the massage when they're watching someone else have one. And I've always found that for me. And in the same way, I don't know if anyone else out there that's listening to this has found this, but if I watch someone fall over and I watch them fall onto their knees, my knees hurt for them as it happens, and it's like a really strange thing that my brain does. I think a lot of people have this as well, but I read that it was something to do with empathy, and if you have it, then, or like a very strong amount of empathy, like you're sensitive, you feel someone else's pain as but you don't, obviously. You don't feel someone's pain, but it's just strange. Your brain sends the signals to that area of the body where that person has hurt themselves. It's it's a weird thing, but in the same way, then, I and many other people can get that from watching someone have a massage. And so, yeah, thought I would do this a little bit different, and I will practice, because I know this is probably not very relaxing as my first video, not at all, but I'll give it a go, and I'll just continue, and we'll see what this comes out like. And let me know if you enjoyed this, any feedback. I'm aware that my microphone is not that great. I've had to use my headphones microphone, which is rubbish. I do have a very good microphone, but it's not working at the moment, as of today. I've just found out. So I will work on that. But I didn't want to not release anything, so it's fine. This will do as a start. Anyway, so I started doing collages earlier this year because basically I turned 30 and I decided that I wanted more fun things in my life, more joy. And with that came collage. Art has always been something that I've loved. It's given me a lot of happiness over the years. It's calmed me down, and I did it for so long when I was in education, and then suddenly it stopped, and I just forgot about it, really. And so I got back into it. I collect a lot of different types of imagery, things that are aesthetically pleasing, lots of paper. I never throw anything away, always recycle, if you count art as recycling. I really love it. I find it's a really easy way to do something creative, but it's with your hands, it's slow, your breathing slows down, your heart rate slows down, and you're doing something, so you're kind of focused. And with that, I've found like it's a form of mindfulness. I'm living in the moment, and I'm not necessarily thinking about things that are negative. Sometimes I do, but it's just less likely. I will be just focused on what I'm doing, and it's wonderful. And I really don't think that you have to be good at something in order to enjoy it. Art is, well, relative, really, isn't it, to everyone? Some people like a certain type of art and others don't, and to me it doesn't really matter. If you like my art, then great, and go ahead and buy some art prints or my originals, but to me it's no bother. I set up my shop just for fun, really, not for like any money, or I create stickers, as those of you who know, and it's just for fun, so I'm really enjoying it. I haven't done a collage in a while, so I'm glad that I did this weekend. Thought, I've got a Sunday off, so thought I'd make this. But usually when I create a collage, I have a theme or something in mind that I really want to get down onto paper, and today I didn't. I just went through all my bits, all paper and images, and I thought, I'm going to put two and two together and make this. I never have an idea of how it's going to look, I just do it. And so yeah, as you can see, I'm probably talking at this point in the video, because you're wondering what am I doing. So yeah, I'm sorry if I keep saying by the way. It's very hard to, when you're recording yourself, I suppose it's what I would say if I was talking to someone, where you would just have lots of in a conversation, I suppose. So yeah, so that's collage, and I love it. It's a great release. I wish I did it more, but since the world opened up, and I've been seeing my friends and family, been having a really nice time over the last few months, and I hope it stays that way for the world. But yeah, so this weekend it's nice to just sit down and do this. And yeah, I've been thinking over the last month or so about other things that make me happy. And one of those things that I recently got back into was yoga. I've been on and off yoga for 12 years now. It's always been part of my life, something that I've really enjoyed. So I recently decided that I would really like to do a yoga teacher training course. And I'm not going to stop doing my job. I'm going to do this on the side because I think I just really wanted to do something that was giving something back to the world. I don't feel like I do that with my job as a software test analyst. I sit at my desk and I test software and I really enjoy it, but I need more than just that in my life, and people need balance, and this is something that will not only give me balance, but also just give me a lot of happiness. And I am really looking forward to learning about yoga and the philosophy, history, learning Sanskrit, which could be really hard. Well, I say could, it will be really hard. I'm never that good with languages, but I'm going to give it my best. And also, I am very conscious of being just another Western, thin, white girl teaching yoga. I really, really don't want to be that person, but I am. I'm white. I'm Western. So I am technically taking up more space. But I'm doing a lot of reading, and I hope that I will do this justice and I will honour yoga, and that I won't cultural appropriate. I say hope, I won't, is what I mean. And I think just learning about what yoga is, the fact that it's not exercise, it's a philosophy, it's a way of life. There's so much more to it, and I knew this anyway, but I'm really looking forward to learning more. And I want to teach in my classes this as well. I think it's very important. You know, if we take something from the East, we need to honour it and acknowledge the fact that it's been taken, and acknowledge how it's changed. But it's not like in a negative way. Well, it is a negative thing, of course, but you can still do this. I can still teach yoga and acknowledge the fact that what yoga is now is very, very different. And just to remind the people in my classes, future classes, of what it is, what it really is. I think and I hope that I will help in some way. But mostly, I just want to do something nice for myself and for others. And yoga is something that's very nice. And I also thought about taking a short course in massage. Funnily enough, I think they kind of go hand in hand, especially like the physiological and human anatomy side of it. It will really help. And so yeah, I'm gonna do that. It's exciting. And so I've gone with a yoga school called Yoga London, and which is really great. They have this. They've got many different studios in London where they do their classes, and there happens to be one which is like a minute walk outside of London Bridge Station, which is perfect for me. So I live in Tunbridge, and Tunbridge is 35-minute journey to London Bridge, which is really, really good. And so I'm excited. I've chosen to do a 200-hour yoga teacher training course, and there are different ways that I could have done it. So I could have done like an intensive 1 month, which many people do. Some people go to India, or so that they'll actually go on a trip and to one of the yoga schools out there, and that just to me sounds wonderful. I'd love to do that. However, money, I can't afford it, and right now, the current climate, I don't know if I could anyway. And free, I would need to take a month off work, and although I think my company would allow me to do that, it would mean losing a hell of a lot of holiday money. So yeah, these aren't real problems, but it's just, I have a life, I'm choosing how to live it, and the way I want to live it is to do a yoga teacher training course, and I have some options. So the other option was 6 months, and that was like, you would do, I think it was 2 weekends a month. You'd go into the classes, so we're talking Saturday and Sundays, and they're heavy days, they're quite intense. You'd start at 9 and finish at 6. So I really didn't want to do take up too many weekends like that, because if I work Monday to Friday, it's obviously going to be a really hard week for me, and going up to London and back for both Saturday and Sunday, I just didn't see that being really an option. So 12 months works for me, and it's 1 weekend a month, and I would have a lot of reading to do, so there's a lot of time for me to immerse myself in it, but like in a way that's over time and a bit more slow. I think for something like this as well, I really, really, really want to take it in properly. I want to do this properly, and I adored my time at uni. I really, really did, and I'm so excited to be learning something again. If I could stay in education forever, I would. And many people say that, but I'm one of them people. I love it. I love learning new things. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and with any luck, that will start next year. I'm going to spend the next 6-7 months saving. I will have to take a loan out anyway, because it's quite a lot of money to do it. It's about £3,000, or it's more than £3,000, but I'm going to save up the additional and then get a loan for £3,000, and I can pay that back next year. And yeah, so this should be really good with any luck, and I will be hopefully teaching classes in when would that be? So if I start next year, they said actually that you can be you can start teaching halfway through the course because you can get a type of insurance. I think it was teacher-student or student-teacher insurance. So I'm going to look into that because I'd like to start as soon as possible, really. I think I'm a little bit nervous, actually, about teaching classes, which obviously sounds ridiculous because why am I doing this then? I did seminars in uni, and it's not the same at all. But you are talking to a room full of people, and I think maybe this might be easier. The course won't be easy, obviously, but I think once I know what I'm talking about and feel confident, then I think it will be okay. And if I have a classroom full of all different types of people, I just will focus on them and help them. And with any luck, I won't have people that have been practicing yoga for years. Because I think I would prefer newbies of my first classes. And then maybe as time goes on, then I'd probably get bored and would like to do more, what's the word? So you get beginners yoga, and then you've got, I suppose, more advanced, that's the word. So maybe I would, organise myself in that way. So I've been thinking about, obviously an online presence. There are so many people that do online classes, so I will do that. That's quite easy for me. I'm quite techie, so I can get my head around that. But mainly I think having actual face-to-face classes will be so good. So really I do hope that COVID really does bugger off. I hope that anyway, but I really hope it, because I won't be able to do the classes otherwise, and same for the rest of the world. The world needs to continue, and so I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to, I think, teaching people, well, not teaching, but guiding people with meditation, because I think that's so beneficial. They should really teach meditation in schools. I think they do now, but it's probably depending on the school that you go to. I mean, in my school, so how many years ago? Back in the early 2000s, my secondary school taught us meditation, but not like a regular thing. It was literally just like an introduction, because it was off the back of religious studies. So it was more in the context of here's Buddhism, here's Hinduism, and here's meditation. It's similar to prayer, that sort of thing. But and then we had, I think it was our religious studies teacher had us in the classroom and did like a form of guided meditation with us, and it was my first introduction to it. Actually, I really liked it. As a teenager, I was able to sit there and focus, and it was great. And so I knew from a young age, oh, I can do this. I always thought meditation was something that was really hard and that only Buddhist monks could do it. And it is really hard, actually. It takes practice. That's why they call it practice. Same as yoga, really. Yoga is a practice. You don't become an expert, you just keep practicing, which is, in a way, the beauty of it. That's why I really like it. Like, even though I may go and do these courses, and over time I'll do more yoga courses probably, because speaking to some people that are yoga teachers, like, they did their 200 hours, then they'll do a 500 or a 300, then they'll top it up with something else, and you don't stop learning, you just keep going, and the journey is never ending, really, which I like. The journey should always be never ending. You just keep going and you keep learning, and I think this will bring me a lot of happiness. It will, I've had a lot of, I don't know, big changes this year, life changes, and I think this will be another thing next year which will make me, I can't think of the word really, but there's a lot of soul searching, and it will make me reevaluate my life, how I live my life, how I lived it before, but probably more focus on the now and what you're doing going forward, and I welcome that, really. I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, I'm hoping that me waffling on has not been too boring, and I'm trying to soften my voice as best as I can. I will do some other videos in the future. I'll have a play around, practice with maybe whispering. I always found with ASMR that I preferred the soft spoken rather than the whispering. Whispering could be like relaxing, but I think the soft spoken just was more relaxing to me, because maybe it reminded me of when you're younger and maybe a teacher is over your shoulder and is showing you something in class, but she's trying to be quiet because she doesn't want to disturb the other students. So I think it might come from that, from being young, and maybe also when your parents or an auntie or uncle or someone is helping you with something, or maybe reading you a story before bed. Those sorts of things, very comforting. They come from a place when you're a child, and parents and adults are meant to look after you and comfort you. And so soft voices are for, we use them for babies, don't we? We use them in a soothing way. The only other time that I've heard people talk softly is when they naturally have a soft voice. And oh dear, don't even get me started on the ASMR. There are people that I've worked with that have these wonderful soft voices, and I have to concentrate and listen to them, and all I want to do is just stare at them and fall asleep. And it's so hard. But yeah, life's hard. But yeah, so there are people that have natural a presence about them, an aura, say, like a very, very soft, even their movements, they're just very graceful. And those people are great. And then there are people that talk to children softly, so teachers, your parents. And then I can't think of anything else really that's... When would you ever softly speak to someone? I know. When you're having guided meditation. Or maybe when you are learning yoga. I've known a lot of yoga teachers to have a soft voice, or a voice that they use when you're in Shavasana, which, if anyone has done yoga, there's usually a point at the end of the class where you will be in corpse pose, which is essentially lying on your back and relaxing after the practice. And you will be sometimes guided, have a guided meditation by the instructor, and that's, they tend to change their voices at that point and talk very softly and soothingly. And is soothingly a word? Oh well. And yeah, it's great. And I'm trying to think of another time, maybe if anyone's ever had a massage before. I haven't had many. I think I've only had one, but I remember the person talking to me in a very soft voice in this spa. But when I was exchanging money, or we were exchanging money, they spoke normally. So it's like people put it on because that's what they have to do, because you're in the moment. You're in the mood otherwise. It's almost like a sexy voice. And but there's nothing sexual about it. ASMR, I have to say that. For anyone that doesn't know what it is, I'm going to assume most people that are watching this will know what ASMR is. And if you don't, go and Google it. Go and YouTube it, rather. And there's something for everyone, really. The main thing ASMR, the main thing about it, shall I say, is that it was about the head tingles. Many people, some don't, experience like a tingly feeling, which is in their head. It goes down their spine, and I've experienced that so many times in my life. I didn't know what it was. It wasn't till like the early 2010s that someone came up with a name for it, and I can't say what it stands for. I think it's auto something, order. Oh no, I'm not even gonna try it. Response, I think, is the last word. So ASMR. Yeah, I can't remember, but it is something that many people experience, and I experience it not frequently, but when I meet certain people, haven't met many people recently because of COVID, but over the years, like I say, people that I've worked with, and if they have a certain type of voice or accents also trigger ASMR. And I think also so visual things like what I'm doing right now, can be a trigger for some people. Watching someone get massaged. What else is there? There's sounds. So like one of the weirdest ones for me was some people enjoy listening to people eating. I can't enjoy that. That actually makes me cringe and feel horrible. But for some people, they really enjoy that. And the other thing that people are triggered by, so ASMR trigger, shall I say, is what was it? Tapping. Tapping is something, scratching, so tapping or scratching inanimate objects, and I get that because that is probably one of my triggers as well as voice and listening to people talk. It's funny, maybe that comes from me, like teachers again, tapping their fingernails on a desk. I can't think what else. Maybe I'm trying to think. Like my mum, she used to make curtains, and she used to, I think, work with a lot of fabric. And maybe the sound of her hands on the fabric, the ruffling sound, was quite a comfort to me as a child. And I think I don't really know where ASMR triggers come from for many people, but it's different for everyone. And yeah, so for me it's voices, different accents, and the sound of paper as well, which is probably why I've chosen collage as something that I love doing, because it's paper. I love, the feeling of paper, a book, and cutting, sticking, that whole process. Like I really enjoy that. And what else do I like? I think watching people do makeup, so put on their makeup or put on someone else's makeup. That is also, I suppose you can that's very similar to art as well, like painting, because it's the concentration, the tiny movements with the hands, like putting on mascara. It's, very, very soothing, relaxing. I think also like getting your nails done is also anything you're being pampered. So going to the hairdressers, having your hair brushed as well. I think that comes from when your friend, if you had long hair when you were younger and your friend was brushing your hair for you, or playing with your hair, that's, quite a big ASMR trigger for many people, myself including. So thank you for listening to me waffle on about ASMR and my yoga teacher training, and I hope it wasn't too boring for waffling on for half an hour, and I hope it was kind of relaxing for you maybe, but let me know, and I shall see you all soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye.